Welcome to Burlington Now, a program that features news, events, announcements, interviews, and the occasional bit of music that is about and comes from the city of Burlington. I'm your host, Lawson Hunter. This week I speak with Heather Johnson from Volunteer Halton, Dave Margetts from the Burlington Organized Minor Baseball Association, and David Nelson from the Golden Horseshoe Touch Football Association. All this and more on Burlington Now. Heather Johnson is with Volunteer Halton, part of the Community Development Halton organization, and she joins us today. Heather, thanks very much. People might not know what Volunteer Halton is or some of the services that you offer, so let's begin there.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Lawson, for inviting me to be here today. So Volunteer Halton is actually part of Community Development Halton, and people might be thinking, what's that? So we are a 3-pillar program supporting all of Halton region. And we've got 3 programs: social planning and research, age-friendly initiatives, and Volunteer Halton. So social planning and research is all about data, looking at the data, looking at how that influences decision-making and connecting with organizations to impact change. Age-friendly initiatives is using the United Nations Age-Friendly and Communities platform, because we know if we create communities that are good for our older adults, they're going to be great for everyone else. And Volunteer Halton. So we are the volunteer center for all of Halton region. And what we envision is a region where volunteerism is accessible, it's inclusive, and it's valued, and it's helping to contribute to community well-being and engagement for all ages across Halton region.
Mm-hmm. So any organization that's looking for volunteers or a volunteer that's looking for an organization, this is the place to go?
We are the place. So certainly for volunteer seekers, if we've got folks out there that are looking to get involved, you can certainly connect with us, cdhalton.ca. And when you go to that website, there'll be a tab across the top. It says Volunteer Halton. If you click on that, you're going to access all of our services. And there's an online database that you can search. You can also connect with me either via email or telephone. I'm happy to do referrals. Some people call me and they're like, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do, but here's what I like to do. And I can help direct you to organizations that may be a good fit for you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's for organizations. We work on a membership base. So if you were a charity, a nonprofit, a grassroots organization, or a service provider in the community, membership is an option for you. And our memberships run based on your organizational's operational budget. But you would get access to our volunteer referral services. You'd have access to our discounts for our upcoming workshops, as well as consultation supports from any of the members and directors here at CDH. So just to give people an idea, we had over 200,000 hits to our website last year. But we had also 5,000 volunteer referrals. So on our database, this is where individuals can look at an opportunity and say, hey, I'm really interested in that. And there's a button on that that says, I'd like to volunteer. When you click on that, there's an opportunity for you to put your name and your contact details in there. So we had 5,000 of those last year. Those are the ones I can track. But if we had 100,000 people who came to our website, there's probably a lot more folks who said, I'll get back to that organization on my own. So I'm sure more people than my 5,000 tracked actually want to get involved in the community, which is fantastic.
I want you to talk a little bit about the workshops, because that's one of the amazing things that Volunteer Halton facilitates. You don't do the workshops necessarily all the time, but you make the connections, you know about something that's going on in, say, at the provincial level or even the national level, and you bring in speakers and let people connect. So your members connect to that.
For sure, exactly. So we are, this year we have a series that we call CDH Educates. And this is a workshop series. We are looking to promote all kinds of opportunities. And so we have a few different streams depending on what folks need. And workshops are open to all organizations in Halton region. If it happens to be a paid workshop, if you're a member, you get a discount. If you're not a member, there's another fee for that. It's usually about a $10 difference between being a member and a non-member. But we've got a few great series coming up. So on March 22nd, we're actually kicking off a volunteer engagement basics workshop series. So we have workshops in March, April, May, and June that are all focused on fundamentals of volunteer engagement. We're going to kick off on March the 22nd with one called Legislation and Policy, just an overview of the legislation that is required, things like the Ontario Human Rights Code, PAPITA, and things that apply to volunteer programs. In April, we're going to talk about staff buy-in. So I know that can be a challenge. You've got a volunteer program and you've got staff who run your outreach programs, and you're saying to them, you'd be really good if you had some volunteers, and staff are like, whoa, wait a minute. This is an opportunity to learn how do you bring that case to your staff so that they are as excited about volunteers as you are. In May, we're going to talk about volunteer screening. So the requirements around screening volunteers. When do you ask for a resume? When do you ask for a police records check? When do you ask for references? That kind of thing, so that you have a sound and equitable, that's the word I'm looking, equitable screening process for all of your volunteers. And we're going to cap this off in June with a volunteer program evaluation. So some tools and tips on how you can evaluate your program to know that what you've implemented is working.
April is a particularly important month when it comes to volunteers. Tell us about that.
So yes, April is National Volunteer Week. This is a national event that is spearheaded by Volunteer Canada, and Volunteer Halton is actually a member of Volunteer Canada. So this year, the week is April 24th to April 30th. And we are doing a couple of great celebrations for that. We have just released our Cheers to Volunteers Award. And this is an opportunity for organizations in Halton Region and the City of Hamilton who support residents in Halton Region to nominate volunteers in your organization. So this is an opportunity to nominate. We're going to close those on March the 31st. And we're going to select 3 winners from each of our 4 municipalities. So from Burlington, from Oakville, from Milton, and from Halton Hills. And they're going to receive a wonderful little award that says Cheers to Volunteers. And this is just a great way to celebrate how people in our community. We are also having our Volunteer Impact Awards, and these were actually launched in 2021, so we are bringing these back in 2022. This is a member-only award, but this is an opportunity for CDH members to nominate an outstanding volunteer from 2021, someone who went over and above in your organization. And we will be providing up to 2 awards per municipality. So up to 8 people in our community will be receiving these awards. And all those awards will be presented during National Volunteer Week. And I am just getting ready to hopefully put out our information about our community celebrations. So we're looking to host some community celebrations in each of the 4 municipalities. I'm just in the process right now of confirming spaces. As we're opening up from the pandemic, things are a little bit shifty. So we're going to be, watch our website. We'll have more information on where people can come and celebrate.
Let's hear that website again.
So you can go to cdhalton.ca, and along the toolbar, click on Volunteer Halton. If you like social media, we've also are on social media on Facebook, on Twitter, and on LinkedIn under both Volunteer Halton and Community Development Halton.
Heather Johnson from Volunteer Halton, thank you very much for keeping us up to date what's going on. Looking forward to April Volunteer Week. That's April 24th to the 30th. A couple of chances for organizations to nominate their best volunteer, and that might be a bit challenged because there's a lot of good volunteers out there. And again, thank you very much for keeping us up to date and letting us know more about Volunteer Halton.
Great. Thank you so much, Lawson, for having me today.